morning, Commissioner. We're here to discuss and take appropriate action on a Saline County Road and Bridge Department request to award a contract for furnishing all tools, equipment, and labor required to provide aggregate shoulder construction. This work is to be done at locations designated in this request for action. A little history is that many of the asphalt roads in Saline County have little or no shoulder. Many years ago, the county saw the need to correct this deficiency with an aggregate edge wedge. This provides a measure of safety for a vehicle that may inadvertently leave the roadway, allowing the driver to correct without oversteering. In many cases, results in accidents. Since the program's inception in 2015, we have completed approximately 60% of the asphalt road. Sealed bids for project number 185372 aggregate shoulder construction was opened on September 18th at 4 o'clock. The roads to receive the aggregate shoulder construction are those designated: Kip Road from Magnolia Road to south to K4 Highway, Old 40 east from the side of Salina city limits to Simpson Road. No project shall be completed by December 21st, and no work shall be conducted during the time of harvest. 5 contractors were extended an invitation to bid: APAC Shears of Salina, Frank Construction of Salina, Bettis Asphalt and Construction, Topeka, DNR Dirt, Salina, Mall Construction of Winsburg. One bid was received, and that was from APAC Kansas Shears Division, and it was for $159,961.60. The county completed a similar project in March of 2017. Using these numbers and adjusting for an anticipated increase in construction costs, the above proposal is in line with county estimates. The county engineer will typically provide an engineer's estimate for this project, and the engineer's estimate was not provided. The bids were reviewed by the Road and Bridge Department, Engineering Division staff, and all calculations were verified. A, we can accept the bids as indicated in the staff recommendation. B, reject bids and rebid. Or C, provide other options. Staff recommends awarding a contract for project number 185372 aggregate shoulder construction to APAC Kansas Incorporated Shears Division for $159,961.60. Award of this contract will also establish the unit prices should the county have sufficient funds and elect to have additional work performed, such as an edge wedge or shouldering for other roads. Account 11030, the edge wedge, aggregate edge wedge in the Road and Bridge Department has an unencumbered balance of $300,000. The original budgeted amount was $300,000. If approved, the remaining balance would be $140,038. I do have a few slides just to kind of let the audience know, and the commissioners can give you a little bit of update on the progress of our this project. This is what I call an aggregate edge wedge. It just provides the chance for somebody to, if they do leave the roadway, to get back on the road without that drop off. Some roads in our county, you're able to get this nice 2 or 3 foot you're looking at. Some roads, because of them being narrow, you're only looking at 1.5 feet. And so we try to provide that protection, especially on the newly overlaid asphalt where there's 2 or 3 inch drop. And this just shows some of the narrow right-of-ways that we have, and it also provides some contrast to drivers at night. You get the black asphalt, and then you got the white stripe, and then the white rock, so it kind of helps a little bit that way. And if you kind of know what you're looking for, where the grass doesn't grow up in this rock, that's where people are using the shoulder or actually going on off the road. This is a map of what we have completed. The blue outline there shows what we've done with the county forces. The green outline shows what we have contracted out. So that's 74 miles that we've gone up to date. We identified about 150 total miles that needed this upgrade. These are the roads that we're proposing with this contract, which would be Old 40 from the Salina city limits to Simpson Road, and then Kip Road actually is an extension of last year's where we ran out of dollars and we want to finish that project. This is what's left. If you look at countywide, that what we haven't done. So we've got about 72 miles to complete. We're about 60% through this process. I figured when we started, it would take about 10 years. We are currently doing the easy stuff, is what I call it. You know, some of the other ones will take more of a dirt contract type of activities other than just some aggregate. Have any questions?
Darren, I'm looking at the 5 contractors were extended in an invitation to bid. Does that mean that we didn't post this for bidding? We only invited 5 people to bid?
You know, I think they put it out on the website and sent it to these.
That is correct. We post all these available to any contractor so they can bid. We just have a list of normal contractors that bid on our projects, and these were the ones we sent them out to.
But it was posted?
Yes.
And, okay, that's my concern, because when you only get one person that comes back and bids, and according to this, the way I read it anyway, that it says an invitation to bid was only extended to 5 people. That, it's much broader.
It was written a little misleading.
Okay.
That was my mistake. It was extended, it was open to any contractor.
Very good. I will say that I've heard more positive comments on the edge wedge road, you know, flattening out there, as I have any positive comments for the road and bridge department in the 2 years that I've been on the commission. So it is a positive. So
I do expect to extend this because there are dollars left, because we added some pavement late, like Waterwell and Ohio Street, and so I'm gonna be talking with the contractor to get some of those done also.
Okay. Are there other questions or comments from the commissioners for Darren?
Darren, with only one bid coming in, looking at the unit prices, how does that compare to the last?
Last year, on the unit price, it was a little over $30 a ton. So it'd be a 10% increase.
And I've noticed that driving around, that the edge wedge is really nice, but when you get into a real hilly area, it seems to wash out some,
Yes.
and you got some voids.
And that's the maintenance portion of it. You know, once you put it down over time, then we have to go back and freshen it up. But yes, you're correct. Sometimes where it's really steep, it does wash away quicker.
Further questions? I'll ask for public comment at this time.
Well, I'm noticing the type of material you got alongside the road. Darren, are you locked into one type of material, or do you open the bids up to any type of material in the state of Kansas? Because what I'm seeing is poor quality material. There's other material, but other materials are gonna cost more. So that was my concern.
We spec an AS1 or AB3. Now, the contractors have come back and asked if they could provide a different material. But some of those materials, which were crushed concrete, RAP, which is recycled asphalt, they don't have near the wear, or they just don't last as long.
About availability of material in the state, are we running out of material?
In the western portions, yes.
I've heard that some of these quarries are gonna close.
Thank you. Are there any other comments? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the commission for further discussion and possible action.
Mr. Chairman, I move we award the bid of project number 185372 to APAC Shears in the amount of $159,961.60 as requested by staff.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, it's been moved and seconded that we award RFA 187-18 for project 18-5372 to APAC Shears in the amount of $159,961.60. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Thank you, Darren. We'll move on to item number 4.
RFA 185-18, the Dane Henson grant application with Annie Grievous, community park instructor.
Good morning, Annie.
Hi. This is Dane Hansen application, grant application. It's my first Dane Hansen application. We don't typically fall into their expectations in the criminal justice field. But luckily, criminal justice field is expanding, and we're doing a lot more preventative and a lot more reflective work with the youth and the adults, and so we now are able to apply for this. This is one of those grants where Community Corrections is applying. Commissioners need to approve, and those dollars will be released to Community Corrections, and then we will pay for services at the school, USD 305. I want to make it clear that the dollars will be released to us. We'll track the hours we are not supplanting, so the hours that are worked will be outside of traditional work hours of the staff, and the staff member is here, Sarah Lancaster, if you have questions for her too. So I want to just be clear about that. It's a small grant, $28,500, and the whole purpose is to reduce youth being placed outside the school for misconduct, suspensions, long-term failures to report. The goal is to address the misconduct with restorative practices, and those are all evidence-based practices. They've been around for years, and lots of evidence shows that those things are very effective. And so those practices are built into the school day, and as every child receives those practices, as misconduct would occur, then mediation and other activities can occur, and that's where the heart of the grant is. So the grant is for a number of mediations, and they have several staff that we paid for in a past grant that are trained to be facility-trained mediators. And then the other dollars is to administer the outcomes and the monitoring of the grant, and that is to Sarah Lancaster. That way, Community Corrections, we can't be in the school 24/7, obviously, but our youth are impacted with the help of the school and Sarah Lancaster reporting the outcomes. So it's a win-win for everybody. It wasn't a difficult grant, so it was easy to do, and collaboration happens a lot with Community Corrections and many community partners. And so if you read the grant, there are 2 support letters from myself, Community Corrections, and the school. The school is fully engaged in this grant and want to partner with Community Corrections. We had a previous one, it was a federal grant, but those dollars are not being released this year due to the federal government regulations with those dollars. It just comes and goes with federal grants, you never know. So we're seeking approval to submit the Dane Hansen today. It's due, but it's all electronically, for $28,500. Mostly for mediation and monitoring of the grant total to equal out to that, and we're asking the commission to approve so we can submit that.
I am not opposed to the county accepting free money.
I'm not ever, that's how Community Corrections is living, on free money, so I'm
And I
never
get it.
opposed.
I get it, I understand it,
Yeah.
that's a good job, and 28,000, while not a great big dollar amount in terms of the big picture of the county, it's still a significant amount of money, and for my way of thinking, we need to accept this grant.
Thank
So
you.
that having been said, I'll let the other commissioners ask questions or make comments if they wish.
You talked about USD 305, is this the only school district in the county that will you help with this?
Currently. The goal is, this is a 3-year grant, and so the goal is that are going with this at 305, and that is the middle schools and then to the high schools. And then we would hope to venture out to Ottawa County. I'm a 28th district agency, so my goal would to venture out to Ottawa County and look at other schools. The problem is it's a small amount of money, and we haven't even talked to those other schools yet, so we're starting small here, but I think.
My question was, is that the other school districts here in Saline County
Right.
are not worried about going to other counties?
Well, you
I'm just
should,
wondering-
because we're the 28th district.
Well, I know, but I'm just,
Right.
first off, Saline County, I mean,
Right,
are you?
you're talking about Southeast and Elsaline and all that.
Right,
This
but-
does not go there yet, but we
Okay.
are welcome
Gotcha.
to, and we put in there a piece about extending that possibilities and going talking to the principals. I don't know if anybody even does this this is pretty new to provide this practice inside the school districts. And Sarah's a real collaborator, but also pushes these efforts and is trained significantly throughout her efforts in these practices. And so the goal would be that, yes, we could expand We would have to write a larger grant and cover some more work, and that would be more work on Sarah's part, but we certainly are open to that.
You bring up an interesting point there, Annie, to me, you just hit on, and that is, if you're representing the 28th district. Are we the only commissioners that vote on the 28th district?
You are. What happens is on our larger grants that, not in reference to this because we're only touching Salina here, but on our larger grants that we do impact Ottawa County, I do go and get their votes. But on these kind of grants that are smaller and they only impact Salina, we only need the commission. And you are the host district. So when we are combined with Saline and Ottawa County, you are the responsible party to make those decisions.
A couple of questions, Annie.
Uh-huh.
You said that this was a 3-year grant.
It is.
Is the 28,000 spread over the 3 years?
It is.
And is this a standalone grant or is it a matching grant?
It's just a standalone, there's no match requirements. We'll just submit their regular month, or there might be quarterly reports, I don't remember right now, but the regular reports go in to show the outcomes and the successes and those kind of things. And then, should they award us this, we'll just do that over a 3-year cycle.
All right, I might ask, questions of Ms. Lancaster.
She's welcome to come up
Or
here,
you
or-
can answer, I'm not sure. And who are you employed by?
USD 305.
305, okay. Take care of that one. Is there any public comment regarding this? Bring it back to the commission then for, possible, more further comments or possible action, questions?
Mr. Chairman, with no more comments, I move we submit the restorative practices to reduce incidents of misconduct in school removal grant to the Dane G. Hansen Foundation.
Second the motion.
Further comments? Been moved and seconded that we approve RFA 185-18, the Dane Hansen grant application. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Thank you very much.
And I just want to be clear, this is an electronic grant, so our signatures don't count, so we're gonna say that you approved it and put your name, Commissioner Richardson, as the winning number in the bingo contest today.
Lottery?
Okay,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah. Just so
This
you
is-
know that.
This is one that I proudly would say okay.
Thank you, okay, thank you.
All right, we'll move on to item number 5.
RFA 182-18, Community Corrections General IT Contract with Annie Grievous, Community Corrections Director.
Good morning.
Annie again.
This is a little bit of a repeat. We were here and it was asked that we return and we did rewrite the request for action a little bit differently. I just wanna, I guess some of you were here, I think Commissioner Shadwick was not, but the goal is to maintain even services. We opted not to go with our past contractor for a few reasons, and we're opting, we put it out for bid and asked Saline County IT, Techno Consulting, and Studio F. And we're recommending that Studio F get the contract to provide services to our agency for $4,800 a year. The other one, Saline County had a $5,000 bid for an annual, and Techno, I think I'm saying that right, is $8,100. So, I mean, obviously, it's a slight lower than Saline County. It's not a significant amount. But what makes this good is that the provider, he owns his own business. He used to be with our old contractor many years ago, but left, and then had a no-compete agreement. And so now he can compete, and he put a bid in. And one is, we've worked with them for years, so he knows our systems. We have multiple state systems that you have to understand and know, and you have to be able to communicate with IT and PICA at different agencies. It's not just one, it's multiple agencies. And so that is already there. There's not a learning curve there. He has that. Also, he's familiar with our computers. We purchased most of those through those systems, and he's been working on them previously. So that is already there. So the learning curve and the knowledge and the ability to be there is critical to us. We've expanded. We've become a larger agency over the years. And to be able to have access to someone fairly quickly would be important. We go down, nothing gets done, and DOC counts the number of days you don't put things into, the data system, and after 2 days, you start getting dinged, which means you lose money. So, if you aren't putting those, chronological reports on the clients and updating the, system on a daily basis, I get an email from them that says, so-and-so's been 2 days out, we need to get that data in. So they watch it very closely, and so if we would go down, that would also be, we would need, immediate assistance. And so our concern, because I know there was a question between Saline County and the Studio F, we don't have a problem with Saline County, love those people, and they've been very positive for us and worked with us over the long haul for different county issues. But, I think that my concern was, one, the learning curve, they would have to learn, and that could take some time. But also, I think there's 3 of them working the entire county. And the sheriff's office is large, and there are other large agencies in the county, and, I just felt like we may not get as quick as access to them as we would need to address our concerns. So that's why I'm proposing that go with Studio F at the $4,800 annual cost, and ask your approval and sign the contract.
One of the concerns that I had last week, as I did cast one of the dissenting of
Oh, I
votes,
saw that.
was the $50 an hour, extra if needed.
Right,
Is that meaning after hours?
right, and I think
Which-
that's,
Which really isn't
no.
a factor, is it?
We're, I mean, I would be shocked if we would ever even call anybody after 5. It just doesn't happen much.
Right.
Usually they go down morning and noon for some reason. But he's also agreed to waive that if necessary, but I just don't see it even being, I don't remember a time where I saw someone walking around repairing our computers at 5:30.
Right. And offhand, I mean, as a commissioner, when I see an open-ended contract such as that, it just kind of sends up a red flag to me. I have done some homework on this since then. I've talked to Brad and Kevin and Lauren at the IT department in Saline County, and they were very much in favor of heading the direction that you're heading. I want to, I guess, semi-apologize to Sherry for having, she did an admirable job, but she sold us just as no differently than you have.
Right.
And represented it the same as you have, but with the questions that were in my mind at that time, when I have a question, I'm gonna cast a dissenting vote.
Sure.
And I can tell you that prior to the vote today, that I will vote to approve this, because I felt like I got more knowledge about it in talking with our IT department, who I admire and
Sure.
have a great deal of confidence in, and they have a great deal of confidence in Studio F also.
Right.
So that's kind of my feelings personally. Other commissioners who wish to speak in this area?
Well, I was the other dissenting vote.
Yes,
and
I'm
of course,
well
you
aware of
know,
that
I know,
also.
you've already hit me up about it, it's okay.
I didn't
But
hit
it-
him. I didn't hit him.
Yeah, I still got the mark, no, but after I spent some time with the IT department, and really it was like, I had some questions that I felt like I wanted answered, and that's the reason why I voted no, and they're the same situation, I got my questions answered, and some other things, and you just answered another one just a little bit ago, another question I had, but anyway, and I've changed my mind, and I'm ready to vote and approve what you approved here, or are asking for. Yes.
Well, I appreciate you doing some homework and talking, because we also talked to Brad, and I know Kevin would speak up if he needed to, but, it has nothing to do with those guys or their work,
No,
it's top notch,
and
but,
that was one of the biggest
it was just a
reasons.
quicker response than I think I'd be expecting them to do more than they're able to, and you know me, then I get angry. And then
Yeah, I
there's
do know
problems
you.
for
I
everybody.
do understand what you just said, but anyway, and one of their other things that they said is, because I'd received an email from Brad, and to that effect, but in the time frame that they had hired another, so they do have the 4 people
Oh,
now.
yeah,
and
they
so,
do, yeah.
And so, like, he felt a little more comfortable handling it,
Sure.
but he would like to see this as just a 1-year contract and kind of do that and say, okay, where are we at after a year? Because he knows that he will be able to work with this gentleman or this company a lot better and learn a lot more. So.
Right, and I think, when Toy and I looked at it, it's a 30-day out, so, should we decide at the end of a 12-month period, decide to see if the county wants to pick it up, we aren't opposed to that
Yep.
either. I just wanna make sure that everything's in line, so that, my big thing is we can't go down and be down a long time.
Anyway, thank you for your
Thank you.
patience.
All right, is there any public comment regarding this RFA? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the commission for further comments and possible action.
Mr. Chairman, I move we sign the IT service agreement with Studio F Inc. as requested by staff.
Second motion. Further comments? It's been moved and seconded that we approve RFA 182-18, Community Correction General IT Contract with Studio Web. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign, motion carried.
Thank you.
Item number 6.
RFA 184-18, Justice Assistant Grant Application with Annie Grievous Community Corrections
You're
Director.
the star of the show today.
Thank you very much. Grant season. This is a grant that we've received many years in a row, and then last year wrote it, and the funds were never released. The federal government, for some reason, held on to this grant dollars. I don't know why. And that's funny because, well, they're enjoying it too, but it's funny because now the federal grant we wrote last year is being held out. I don't understand the system, but I just move with it and whatever. So now these dollars are available, and it is a justice assistance grant, and it's solely for salary and benefits for one drug court officer. So we're just seeking permission to submit this JAG grant to the Kansas Governor's Office to be approved for the salary and benefits to be paid for one drug court officer. Yeah, there's no administrative cost, there's nothing in here but salary and benefits. You'll see we track a lot of information for them, but there's just nothing in there that's outside of those two things. We don't charge an administrative fee, we don't take anything out of it for costs that Sherry spends months putting data in. We just want it for the salary and the benefits.
I'll repeat my further comment. I'm okay with accepting money from
Yes.
the feds and the state
Yes.
to run our programs, so very
Absolutely.
well done.
Thanks.
Further questions of Annie from anyone? Public comment? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the commission for possible action. Further comments?
Mr. Chairman, I move we submit the FY19 JAG grant application in the amount of $66,205 as requested.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve RFA 184-18 Justice Assistance Grant Application for the GAG grant in the amount of $66,205. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. You won again.
Thank you. It feels good to walk out of here as a winner.
All right. And thank you again too, Sherry and Mr. Lancaster, thank you. All right, item number 7.
RFA 186-18, Saline County Codes with Andrew Manley, Assistant County Administrator, Director of Finance.
Morning, Andrew.
Morning, Commissioners. Saline County Administration is requesting permission to publish the Saline County Code Book on our county website and cancel the contract with Unicode, an agency that currently publishes our code book. Unicode has been publishing our code book since 1992. While effective, it is not widely used by counties and costs between $1,500 and $3,000 a year. Canceling this contract will enable the county to redirect these tax dollars. In addition to a cost savings, the county will be able to publish a code book customized to our needs and in a timely manner. Unicode currently publishes a universal layout catered more to cities. In regards to timeliness, the county's current contract does not allow for immediate codification. Publishing the code book ourselves will correct both of these deficiencies. All codified resolutions will be reviewed by legal prior to being published. The additional time on existing staff is expected to be minimal and negligible. So alternatives for action is accept the staff recommendation, publish the code book in-house and cancel Unicode. Option B, continue with Unicode, or 3 other options. Staff recommends publishing the Saline County Code Book on our county website and canceling Unicode contract. Budget impact, there's no budget impact. And County Administrator has approved for recommendation.
All right, once again, I feel the need to say I'm sorry to you for wasting your time. I'm wasting everybody's time today because I put this off last week, not totally feeling that I understood it, which I do now after going back and watching the tape, listening to you again, talking to you in person, which I will say that you've done an excellent job on this. And it is a cost-saving measure, not a cost that's going to apply to the county. It's a cost-saving measure all the way around. And like you said, the code book is rarely used by the public, as I understand it. So I apologize for the delay, and, I'm for it now, and I will let other commissioners comment, or... Okay, any public comment? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the, commission for action.
Mr. Chairman, I move we cancel the contract with Unicode to publish the Saline County Code Book on our county website.
Further comments? It's been moved and seconded that we approve RFA 186-18, the Saline County Codes, and, cancel our contract with Unicode to publish our own, code book on the county website. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Pose same sign, motion carries. That concludes today's agenda. I will say that, I did attend the Airport Authority meeting last week. I also had the opportunity to address AMBUC's, weekly meeting last week and bring them an update on the county, which was appreciative, on their part. And, we had some good discussions there. So, are there any further announcements or other business to come before the commission? I would accept the motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Then moved and seconded that we adjourn today's meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. We're adjourned.